Our breaking news this evening, the police have identified the charred body used in Thabo Bester's escape from prison after matching DNA with the deceased's mother. The convicted rapist and murderer escaped from the Mangaung correctional facility after faking his death in a fire that broke out in his cell. Let's speak now to the father of the victim, Mr. Thabo Bester. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much for your time this evening and joining us here on eNCA. First and foremost, let me send my condolences to you and your family. But firstly, can you just talk to us about how this identification and connection was made? What was the process?
Good evening, and thank you to the viewers. Thank you to South Africans. It first started when I realized that Katlego is no longer on social media. I can't get hold of him on the phone. It was April last year. I then called the mother in Bloemfontein, who was staying alone because Katlego was staying with the grandmother, and asked her when did she last saw him. And then she said it has been a few days. I then asked her to go to the mother's house, which is Katlego grandmother, where Katlego was staying, to find if Katlego is okay. And when she got there, she said the grandmother saying she has a month and a few days since she last saw or heard from Katlego. I then asked her to go and open a missing person case at the police station, which she did. Nothing has been happening since April last year. Up until last week, she received a call from police saying they are going to do a DNA test, even though they didn't give information against which body. Then they did a DNA test, and then a few days later, she got another call from Pretoria forensic people saying the tests were not properly done. They are coming to do further tests. They came to do the test, and then yesterday she got a call from the police in Bloemfontein saying the results are back. They will come and see her in the afternoon. At 3 o'clock they came and they took her to the mother so that they can be together. That's where they broke the news that the DNA has been positive, even though still not giving the details against which body. Up until this morning, they called the police who handling the case. Then only today that the police gave the full information that it was against that body that was burned in prison by Thabo Bester.
Mr. Mpolo, I can only imagine the shock when you heard this. Was there any information told to you by the police as to how the body of your son then landed up in that prison cell number 35? Did they give you details as to how that happened?
Not really, because they only asked how did the body get there, and then they said my son was found, he collapsed in town. They took him to the hospital, and when he got to the hospital, they discovered that he doesn't have enough blood, and then he lost his life. Then they took him to the government mortuary. As to how the body left the government mortuary, we don't know. And from my own side of story, that information, I don't believe it.
You don't believe that information? What are your concerns with that? What are you failing to grasp and understand in that situation? Why are you so unsure of what the story is that the police are telling you? Because
they're giving us a perception that Katlego has been roaming the streets of Bloemfontein. And Katlego's half-brother works in Bloemfontein. He has been looking for him as well. So I don't believe that my son collapsed and then he was taken to hospital. There is more to it.
With regards
more to it, honestly.
Well, we hope that we will uncover those further details, Mr. Mpolo. But with regards to the body of your son, do you have that body in your possession and in your custody now? Where is the body currently?
We don't know, but on Monday we are going to the police station to get full details. We don't know yet, honestly, as to where the body is at the moment.
So at this point, you as a family can't even start putting together funeral arrangements and making plans to lay your son to rest?
Not yet, not yet.
Just a question, Mr. Mpolo. Did your son perhaps have any relationship with Dr. Nandipa or with Thabo Bester himself? Did you know of any relationship, or is it completely separate?
Completely separate.
In one of your tweets...
My son was the person.
Yes, please continue, sir.
He was a soccer fanatic. Yes, my son was soccer fanatic, so he couldn't hang around with any other people except soccer-loving people.
And can you confirm how old your son was? You did mention that his name was Katleho.
Yes, Katleho. He was supposed to turn 32 on the 18th of May because he was born 1991, 18th May.
And then how is your family handling all of this? You did mention that Katleho's mother was the one who did the DNA test, and that's how it was found that he is indeed your son. It must be an extremely difficult time for you and your family. How is your family dealing with something that is so public and is so much of a big news story and in the headlines daily? How is the family handling all of this?
Well, we are very shocked, and it's mentally draining, it's spiritually draining, and the mother can't even talk. Even when I tried to call her this morning, she couldn't even talk. I'm talking to her through her younger sister. She's in a shock.
And I did see that, you know, Katleho is a father as well. If you may just have the platform to tell us a little bit about your son and who he was.
Katleho, he was a fun-loving person, making friends here and there, soccer-loving people. And yes, he has 2 kids, a son and a daughter.
Mr. Mpolo, I did see on Twitter you tweeted that you feel as if the government has failed you. The government has failed your family. Just talk to me about why you have that view.
I have this view because from what we see, when we reported him missing, and the information that we are getting that he collapsed in town, it is not true. And again, how did Thabo Bester get the hold of my son's body if he was in a government mortuary? And I can tell you, the mother, the grandmother, and the other families in Bloemfontein visited several mortuaries to look for him after reporting him missing. There was no sign of him in any mortuary. But why now? Why now?
And on that point, Mr. Mpolo, how was it then possible for someone who is not a family member to remove the body from the mortuary? Is that a question that you've asked the police? What are they saying?
Because I haven't been there, because I'm going to Bloemfontein Monday morning. Those are the questions I'm going to post on them. I need full information, and I need the truth and nothing but the truth.
Indeed, and that's exactly what you deserve, sir. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you will join us again once you have further answers and more clarity on the situation. And once again, I just want to send our condolences to you and your family. Thank you very much for speaking to us tonight. That was the father of the victim. His name is now been made public as Katleho. He's the body that was found in Thabo Bester's prison cell in Mangaung prison. His family saying that he was missing since May 2022. The father saying that police told him that Katleho had collapsed in town in Bloemfontein and was then taken to hospital where he passed away, and then his body was transported to the mortuary. But Mr. Mpolo saying that there are just too many unanswered questions here, and he is not believing the story 100%. We hope to speak to him again once he's gained further clarity with regards to this. Breaking news that has come in this evening, that body that was found in cell 35 in Mangaung prison, in the burnt cell that Thabo Bester was housed in, has now been identified. That DNA match being made with the deceased's mother. But stay tuned to us here on eNCA. We will keep you up to date with any further developments here. Let's take a